Greetings! Here we go, 7.6. We're in the radical land. And this chapter section is about radical equations and solving them, of the nature of what you see in front of you, the square root of x equals 3. What is x? Now, in the old days of solving, and which are also the new days, the present day, you had a problem like 3x equals 2. You'd say, well, to solve for x, you want to get x by itself, 1x, so you do the opposite. So it's 3 times x, so the opposite of 3 times x is divide by 3. So the answer is x equals 2 toids. Cake. So likewise, when you want to solve for the square root of x, let's get this one out of the way, you want to do something similar, not exactly the same, but just do whatever it takes to get x by itself. So what is going on here? It's the square root of x. I want to just get x. How do I get x? I want x. How do you do that? Well, you just do the opposite. And since this thing here is square root, if we square it, it'll get rid of it. Cancel it out. Do the same thing on this side. So you get the answer is 4. Let's check it. Square root of 4. Does that equal 2? It sure do. 2 equals 2. When you take the square root, when you see square root again, make sure it's always the plus version, so your answer better be plus. And it is, so we get the big checkerunio. Of course, problems aren't that simple. They usually get a little more involved, but same principle. We've got our square root over here. And, well, I didn't mean to just do that. Wait a second. Let's get rid of that. We got the square root, this whole guy. We want to isolate that, then get rid of the square root. So treat it just like get the x by itself. So the way we do that is the old thing, or get the square root of x on one side, numbers on the other, which gives you the square root of 3x minus 2 equals 5. Cool, and then you do your thing. Here, this is what happens a lot. See how that minus 2 here got sort of, suddenly it's not into the square root anymore? We don't want that to happen. So make sure your square root's all the way across. All right, we're at that point now. We can do that thing that we do, which is square it. Square it. And then what you get is 3x minus 2 is free of the tyranny of the square root sign. It is open. It's free, floating about. And then on the other side over here, 5 squared is 25. Cool. So now, just do your thing. Add 2, add 2, and then what you get? You get your 3x equals 27, and then again the good old solving, do the opposite. In this case, it's just divide. So x is equal to 9. And there you have it. That is the answer. Is it the answer for sure? You know, we better check it. You got to go back to the original and then put in the answer. So what was that answer? X equals 9. So stick the 9 in the x spot. Here, let's use another color. And let's just do all the work. Square root of 3 times 9 minus 2 plus 4 should give us 9 if it's good. Question mark, true? So you work it, 27 take away 2. I'm just going to work the square root. Square root of 25 is 5. And then bring down the 5 plus 4. Does that equal 9? You betcha. Checkerunio. Check, 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 check. Cube root. Same deal. Except do whatever it takes to get rid of the cube root, which would be cubed it. Cube both sides. And then what happens is this goes, those cancel each other. And now x plus 2 is free. Now the 3 is cubed, 27. Subtract 2, so x equals 25. Does that work? Is that true? So you put your 25 into your x there, And you get, put your 25 in the x spot, then yeah, 25 plus 2 is 27. Cube root of 27 is indeed 3. Check it out. All right, we're going to move it up another nacho. And here we got x's on both sides. So normally you just want to get x on one side, everything else on the other. But since we've got the square root deal, that's the one we got to get rid of first. I can't deal with this thing with this square root business. So let's get it the heck out of there. The way to do that, you isolate it again. Even though x, the whole x is hanging out on the right side, let's keep it there because we got to get rid of that square root. I'm telling you. It's really the only way to mess with this. Pull that over the top so you get x minus 5. So then you do your thing, which is square square. Now here's where the things get a little more tricky, because when you square the right side, you might want to put parentheses around it, eh? So that when you square it, left side's cool. X plus 1 is free. But the right side, it's FOIL time. And if you remember how to do x minus 5 times x minus 5, you get, ooh, that's not very clean. You get some, you get FOIL. No biggie, nothing you can't handle. You get x squared minus 5x minus another 5x plus 25. Right? Fresh page, pull that over, so we got the left side, got rid of the root, but now the right side has been squared out to be x squared minus 10x plus 25. Remember how to solve these? Sure you do. You got to get x squared. So once it's x squared, the only way we know how to deal with that right now is just to get equal to 0. So let's get equal to 0. I'll line these suckers up, and you get 0 equals x squared minus 11x plus 24. Can you solve that? I think you can. Yes, you can if you do. So what you got to do is factor it, and that factors nicely. You get your you got your x. It's plus here, yeah. So you know what that means. Whoa, that plus there means it's got to be, and minus in the middle, it's got to be minus. Whoa. Let's get the appropriate tool there. And then what are the factors of 24? They'll give you 11 in the middle. Since there's no numbers in front of the x's, you just go, well, 8 and 3 work, don't it? It sure do. So you put your 3 here, 8 here, or vice versa. That's equal to 0, and then you do that. The whole reason why we do that, so, well, the only way something times something, this times this, to make 0, well, the only way that's going to happen is x minus 3 equals 0, or x minus 8 equals 0. And that means x can equal to 3, or x can equal to 8. Are those two legit answers? I don't know. I'm circling them now, but I better plug them in. Plug them into the original. So here's the original. Putting 8 in that spot. Oh, let's use the gold. 8. Square root of 8, just square root of 9. 3 plus 5, does that equal 8? Sure enough. Woohoo! So the 8's cool. 8 is definitely cool. We'll keep 8. Now we gotta try 3. Alright, put the 3's in these spots and let's work that thing. So you got the square root of 4, which is 2, plus 5. Problems here. Now, the reason why it seems like it could have worked out was if this was minus. But it's not minus. No way. Because whenever you do the square root, for this problem to do, it's the positive version. Only if there was a minus in front, and there weren't. So this one is not true. It's just not. So that means the 3 does not check. So don't include it as your answers. It's extraneous. It just doesn't work. So let's leave 3 put aside, and then we'll just go with our the one answer of Making a video.
Quietness.
Yeah, you know what? It's okay. A little out background noise is okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I just pause it all the time when. So there you have it. X equals 8. Cast out the 3, and that's the one that works. Did you get to sleep?
Somewhat.
Alrighty, there's one more thing just to take note of before we're done with this chapter. You know how to solve this. It's when you have that situation where you got the square root of x, whatever it is, plus anything. Let's think it anything, 9. If that's equal to minus something, 11. Good dream. That's the sound of my kitchen in the background of my family cooking dinner. So it's never going to happen. Never. It's never going to be negative here because if you look over here, there's nothing there, so you assume that's positive. So you can't get a negative answer. All right? So don't even do that. You see a negative over here? You see a negative there? And you just got a regular square root over here? Don't do it. Just say, nah, no solution. No solution. And that is that. That's all for now. So have a rectangle.